So, lads, the Indiana Fever today, yesterday, sorry, geez, I'm forgetting, I'm losing track of days right now. Yesterday, they went on a 5 game win streak. And we have to be honest when it comes to the Fever. Like, yes, they have won 5 games in a row. They beat they lost to Liberty. They beat the Aces, which is a game that was an impressive game. They then beat the Sky. The Mercury was a really impressive one. That was, in my opinion, the Mercury was the only game where I'm like, yeah, the Mercury showed up to play, and so did the Fever, and the Fever won. And then they beat the Wings, who stink, and they beat they beat the Seattle Storm, who, if we're being completely honest, the Indiana Fever nearly threw this away on multiple occasions. They nearly blew two different 13-point leads. They were completely in control, and if you're looking, like, Kelsey Mitchell's been struggling. They are 2-0 when Kelsey Mitchell is shooting historically bad percentages. So if we're going to be honest about the entire Indiana Fever team, they have been playing okay without Caitlin Clark. But first of all, we're there on, we're listening to ABC or ESPN or whoever had the game. I have no idea. Whatever TV network had the game. They were there talking about how, I kid you not, they were out there saying the Indiana Fever have gone on their first 5 game win streak in a decade and all this stuff. And as good as saying the Indiana Fever are better without Caitlin Clark. This happened last year. They beat an Atlanta Dream team that made the playoffs. They beat a Connecticut Sun team who won 30 games. They beat a bad Sky, albeit they beat a bad Sky team, bad Wings team, bad Sparks team. And ironically, I'm not joking, there was a 3-game spell in the right here where Caitlin Clark had 31 points, 12 assists. She had 35 points, I think. Or was it the Dallas game before that she had 35 points? I actually can't remember. But it might have been the Dallas game before that she had 35 points. But Mitchell had 36. And then in the LA Sparks game, she had a triple-double. So she had a triple-double. She had big games. And the Atlanta Dream game here, this wasn't the overtime one. The overtime one, I think Aaliyah had like 30 and Clark had 26. I can't remember what happened to this one here. But again, it was a Tanisha Wright dream, like different things happen. But like the Indiana Fever are no longer playing against teams A game. Like the biggest example is the Vegas Aces. If you look at how well the Aces play when they want to be there versus how well they play when they don't. Like when the Aces aren't up for it, they could lose to any team by 30. They could lose to anyone by 30, but when the Aces are up for it, they can beat anyone. The Aces are the funniest team if you look at their schedule. Like they're 500 on the year, but they have been absolutely just blitzed in games. Like they destroyed the Vox yesterday. Then they lost by 53 points to the Lynx. They destroyed the Sparks off the back of a 5-game win streak. They destroyed the Wings. They got absolutely killed by the Lynx. They beat the Fever, and the Fever were garbage. Like, the Fever won while garbage against the Aces. They destroyed the Dream. They just about beat the Wings. They just about beat the Valkyries. And they lost to the Mystics, got beaten well by the Liberty. Like, they got lost to the Fever by like 30. Like, this is, like, the Aces are a weird team. I will say, and the Storm. The Storm looked like whenever they felt like turning it on, they were going to score every possession. Or they were going to stop every possession. When they went and pressed at the end of the game, it was GG's. The Storm, it felt like we are other teams' trap games. And the thing is, I will say it, the Indiana Fever are a competent team without Caitlin Clark. They are better without Caitlin Clark than they were. Like, they looked completely incompetent to start the year. Like, they put up 57 points, was it, against the Dream? 58 points against the Dream. They put up 58 points against the Dream without Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark comes back, they scored 102 points. They scored 42 more points the next game. Caitlin Clark back against the Dream, they scored 60 points and a half when she came back. But like, if you look with Caitlin Clark, these were bad games. These were just really bad games from Caitlin and the team. But it's like 88, 102, 94, and then she's gone 75. And then they started picking it up again. against the Wings who can't play defense. 74 points, Commissioner's Cup. 81. It's not a lot of points. They lost this game. 61 against the Valkyries, that first game. Okay, I don't know what the hell happened to the Fever that game. They were garbage. Then 99, 102, 85 and hurt. And then suddenly they're struggling a little bit. Now they're starting to kill it again. But what's happening with the Fever right now is they are facing teams on their B game. Like every team, when Caitlin Clark plays, they want to kill the Fever. Like we all talk about that, and it's like, teams guard the Fever differently. Teams guard Caitlin Clark differently. Teams play differently because they want to beat Caitlin Clark. And that's true. That's no question about it true. Like, the Indiana Fever are on nobody's schedule anymore because nobody cares. They're just another game. And in my opinion, the Indiana Fever are outplaying other teams. I think they're playing even harder than other teams. I think the other teams don't want to prove, Caitlin Clark's not that good. We're going to have all these eyes on us. We want to beat this team. Other teams aren't that hungry anymore. And the Indiana Fever are hungry to prove they can win without Caitlin Clark. That's basically what it is. The Indiana Fever right now are hungrier than other teams. And the one thing is that I don't know how long this streak lasts. Because let's be real, the Phoenix Mercury are going to be hungry to beat the Fever. And the one game where there's no question about it, it wasn't about A or B game, was this Mercury win. This was their most impressive win since they beat the Liberty when the Liberty were rolling. This is their most impressive win since then. The Mercury went out to try beat the Fever. They didn't. The Fever outplayed them. Stephanie White outgame plan Nate Tibbetts, which has been hard to do this season. This is the one game there's no asterisks here. But other than that, it's teams not showing up and Fever beating who they should be beating. And there's a lot to be said for that. But when you go to face Phoenix in Phoenix, like these next two games, we're going to see what the Fever are made of. We got the Sparks who are rolling, who are absolutely rolling. They are a tough team to beat and they are becoming relentless. With Lynn Roberts as their coach, they are becoming relentless. They still don't play defense, but they're going to become relentless on the offensive end. And the difference is they have Cameron Brink back. So even when they're not playing defensive team, they still have Cameron Brink. So this next two games is going to be the barometer of where the Fever is. Because the stuff that I'm literally lying about win streaks on ABC. And look, Carolyn Peck is the most anti-Caitlin Clark. And I don't mean like, Caitlin Clark, the person hater, just Caitlin. She's the most anti-Caitlin Clark, the basketball player. Like, her close relationship with Stephanie White is the reason a lot of people think that, Stephanie White's not the biggest fan of Caitlin. I actually don't think Stephanie White's the biggest fan of Caitlin, the player. Like, if we're being honest, it's probably unlikely Stephanie White is a fan of Caitlin Clark, the player, because just you don't have a coach who's very good at like a tactical defensive slow down game and give them a offensive juggernaut in Caitlin Clark and expect it to work out. But that's the video. See you guys.